Kirby here, and I just kind of want to do a really quick video, kind of discussing Kid Rock's appearance at the White House on March 31st. Now, it's been, nearly a week since that appearance, and I kind of wanted to just go over this just very quickly, and this article in Newsweek will kind of discuss it a little bit too. Kid Rock is kind of seen here in a really cheesy, what would you call it, like outfit that looks pretty much like a Budweiser can. And he's there because of an executive order that Trump signed that had to do with ticket prices. This isn't really going to be about whether or not that executive order has any advocacy in terms of lowering ticket prices. I don't know. Later on in the article, Kid Rock talks about how he's overpaid, but he'd rather be a working class hero than being, I guess, Kid Rock, which I don't believe. But anyway, so this part kind of goes into it here, and the reason why this kind of caused a bit of like what you would call discourse online is because if you remember back to Zelensky's meeting with President Donald Trump and Vice President Vance, they were kind of grilling him over his lack of a suit, although which you could use to point at U.S. hypocrisy, which it is. I think it has more to do with the United States changing foreign policy positions on Russia and Ukraine. The suit kind of, I think, was one of their ways to delegitimize him or show that he's not as serious. But so that's kind of a quick case study in U.S. hypocrisy, in the sense that how come Zelensky can show up in an outfit that is just like a regular like black shirt, if I remember correctly, which there are also pictures of Winston Churchill showing up in not a suit to the White House during World War II. I don't think we made a big deal of it back then, but if you need an example that's not a walking Budweiser can outfit like Kid Rock here, Winston Churchill was also not in his suit during wartime. But I kind of just want to go over some of these parts of this article very quickly. Not going to be able to highlight it like I try to do because these are screenshots. But quote, Trump's critics are comparing the moment to when Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky received backlash for not wearing a suit to the Oval Office in February. So that goes back to February, calling it hypocrisy, which it is. Trump supporters argue that a jumpsuit is a suit and Kid Rock is a musician, not a world leader. Okay, I don't really think that matters. I don't think the occupation of the person in question really, that's going to affect the audio, lovely, really matters. To continue on, anti-Trump Twitter accounts, quote, Republicans against Trump, which, when have they had any legs, took to social media platform to share a clip of Kid Rock's White House appearance. There's the suit. Okay, so I'll have to zoom in here. Give me just a moment. Sorry. All of a sudden, MAGA doesn't care if someone's not wearing a suit in the Oval Office. So weird how that works. Well, I think this has mostly to do with kind of what people colloquially call moving the goalposts. If it's our guy, it doesn't matter what they do. But if it's not our guy, in the case of Zelensky, when Trump has kind of shown more, favoring of Russia since his second term in office and has praised Vladimir Putin in the past, then it's a problem. I mean, the best comparison besides showing that Winston Churchill wasn't wearing a suit and was kind of in a similar outfit that Zelensky was in during World War II would be going back to during the Obama era, where he wore a brown suit. So the Republicans latched on to the idea that he was in a brown suit, not being legitimate as a black suit. It's really just this way of discrediting with the dress that they're in. It's like actually a very similar tactic. So there are some examples, just to give you a quick case study in what you could call Republican MAGA hypocrisy. But again, if it's one of our guys, like Kid Rock, that's technically a suit, even though it looks like a really cheesy Budweiser can. But if Zelensky, who's not one of our guys because we're backing Russia now, then it's an issue. It's just it's a double standard. That's the word I'm looking for. It's a double standard. Clearly it is. And again, I think that it has more to do with the United States changing foreign policy relationship with Ukraine, which has become more strained because of Donald Trump's, shall we say, flirtations with the Russian Federation, which are very well known. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, Trump has talked about cutting aid to Ukraine over and over again at this point. And there was even a leaked memo, which I'm going to be talking about in a different video, about how if Russia even attacked other parts of Europe, I think it was, we wouldn't really lift a finger. Seems like foreign policy is heading more and more in the direction, at least under the Trump regime, toward being okay with Russia's overt aggressions to Europe, which Europe is not very fond of. Anyway, let's see if there's more that I want to read here. So I read that. So then at the time of publication, the post racked up more than 1.3 million views and over 42,000 likes. In response, Eric Daughtry, assistant news director at Florida's Voice, said in a note, Kid Rock isn't a world leader begging us for billions of dollars in endless weapons and aid, end quote. Okay, that is true, but first of all, this established relationship with Ukraine is one that the previous administration took a very strong stance in being with. Biden spent a lot of time in a speech. I think I can't remember exactly where it was, but this was one where they tried to quote to like say that he was more and more on the decline when he gave like a 2-hour foreign policy speech where he bragged about no one's armed NATO or expanded NATO as much as me. Now the Trump regime is kind of going back on that Biden era policy, probably discussing how much more we pay to NATO than other countries, which in proportionate value I don't know if that's true. I haven't looked into the numbers, but it doesn't seem to necessarily hold up. Okay, sure, Kid Rock isn't a world leader begging us for billions of dollars in endless weapons and aid, but he's still somebody there on an official visit on U.S. domestic policy. So then it would mean to me that he's supposed to be under the same rules as any other person walking into the Oval Office. Otherwise, it is a hypocrisy. It is a double standard, which doesn't matter if one's asking for billions of dollars in aid. This other piece of policy is still important. It shouldn't matter who it is. So that's frankly a load of horse shit. Okay. I think this part is actually kind of funny. Let's see. Suddenly MAGA was silent. Kid Rock managed to put on a suit to visit the Oval Office. Why couldn't Zelensky? That's not a suit. There's no jacket. That's not a suit. That's just a lie. Trump, who is friends with Kid Rock, said that increased fees for concerts and other events has gotten worse and worse with time, as if he gives a crap. What's next? Actually, this is kind of a funny part here because he said Kid Rock said some stuff about the ticket prices. It doesn't matter. Talking about markup. Yeah. That's not what I'm here for. Yeah, this is the part where he says that the five-time Grammy winner nominee said Grammy nominee. I don't think he's won a Grammy, which is funny. He can whine about that all summer long. Said that he is a little overpaid right now, end quote, but said he would, quote, would rather be, a hero to working class people and have them be able to attend my shows and give them a fair ticket price, end quote. People understand that Kid Rock can, control some of the prices of his tickets, right? Quote, I can't control that right now, so hopefully that's a step to make happen, end quote. I mean, he's the one putting on the shows. I don't think I believe that. Oh yeah. Then one of the reporters at the Oval Office asked Trump if he would ever wear Kid Rock's suit jacket, and then quote Trump said, and I quote, I don't know. I was thinking about doing it for tomorrow. We have a big event coming up, and I was thinking about doing it, but I'm not sure, end quote. Which is his way of saying, no, I'm not wearing that thing. I'm not wearing it. They're like, what you wearing? He's like, I don't know, maybe. he never wore the suit. Is that how the article ends? I guess one of the ways. But anyway, let me just take you back to show you the suit really quickly. Here's the suit that Kid Rock is wearing here. It's going to be in the thumbnail probably. And I'm probably going to get a markup of what Zelensky wears. Probably in the thumbnail. I might end up putting in the video. But again, the person who said this is a suit, it's not a suit. It has a collar. There isn't a suit jacket. So it's not a suit. It's like a jumpsuit, which isn't a suit. There's no like jacket piece. There's no tie. There's no like collared shirt. There's just a collar on this thing. Like, it's so ugly. But anyway, I think that critique of what Trump is doing here is very accurate. I think it's, again, just a function of what I said earlier about it. That's not a suit. It's a double standard. Zelensky should be able to wear whatever he wants when he walks into the Oval Office. This idea that, like, because he's a world leader, he has to wear a suit kind of misses the point of he is a world leader that's in the middle of the largest land war in Europe, which Russia, who ostensibly the Trump regime is, like, tacitly backing in all of their rhetoric and all of their quote-unquote so-called diplomacy plans, was the one that aggressed and invaded Ukraine 3 years ago at this point? And regardless of what he is wearing, he's there on a foreign policy visit. So regardless of what he's wearing, you should be respecting his place as a world leader, not the outfit that he's wearing. Because, and Zelensky said this at the time, he said he was wearing it in solidarity with the Ukrainian soldiers. So shouldn't him showing solidarity to his fellow Ukrainian soldier while leading them in the middle of, again, the largest land war in Europe, be the most important sticking point to that point? And then Kid Rock walks in with his Budweiser suit, looking like crap. And when people point out, like, hey, he's not in a suit, what's the deal here? All of a sudden, they have to, get the excuse machine running like MAGA has to do. It was the same thing with the Elon's Nazi salute. They have a bag of tricks. And really what it boils down to is, that's our guy. Kid Rock is our guy. He's MAGA. We'll back him. Zelensky is not. And MAGA being usually more pro-Russia is going to back Trump and Putin and not Zelensky. So, just wanted to give a quick video on this and talk about how, like, ultimately, don't believe what these MAGA people have to say. They're full of crap. They'll move their mouth and wherever they have to say, defend whatever they have to defend their person. It's about loyalty. It's the loyalty to Trump. It's not really anything else. And yes, this whole discourse on a suit is a smokescreen, I think. I think what's important is the changing diplomatic ties between the United States, Russia, and Ukraine, what Trump has said about NATO in the past, what they've said about Ukraine in the past, and about where he wants to back his foreign policy in Europe. The suit is just kind of an example of, I guess, what you could call MAGA hypocrisy. So, anyway, this video has ran on longer than I wanted to, but figured I'd just kind of give my thoughts on that sort of thing. And what do you think about this nice little fun photo op of Kid Rock in his absolutely adorable Budweiser jumpsuit over here? That article I saw said it's potentially from Temu. So tell me what you think about all of this stuff. Drop it in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you.